Okay, everyone, this is Mr. Wallace, your driver education instructor, and today we are reviewing the Lesson 6 quiz. So this is when, one of the most essential concepts of driver education, minimizing, separating, and compromising. And we want to take a look at our questions first. And these questions about let's take a look at number one. Watch the video on space cushion and outs. You can copy and paste it. All the following are examples of engaging teen drivers regarding space cushion, except. Okay, so how much time do you have between yourself and the vehicle behind you? These are things that your parents can say to you to kind of engage you in thinking about space cushion, right? Good question to ask. How much time do you have between yourself and the vehicle in front of you? Great question to ask. What is your out if your space cushion is minimal, both in front and behind you? Great question to ask. So our answer here is letter D, okay? And I'm just going to pop it up. So it should be D, and it is. And we're going to pop on over to, I think, right here. And we're going to take a look at the results so far for that question. And everyone got that question correct so far, right? So we have 12 respondents already. Let's move on to number 2. And everyone got number 2 correct as well. Let's take a look at it. Okay. Please, guys, if you liked the video, if you found it useful, please hit the like button on it. It does help. Okay, so anyway, we're going to watch this video some more. And what does Mr. Wells say about we as parents teaching our teen drivers? 1, we should expect more from our teens. 2, we cannot practice what we preach. 3, we need to verbalize to our teen drivers what we are thinking and what we have made a habit of. Okay, we definitely need to do all those things. I'm sorry, this is the one we definitely need to do, is verbalize to our teens what we are thinking and what we've made a habit of. If you recall in our lesson on lesson 6, parents have a tough time riding with teen drivers, and it's mainly because teen drivers don't know the nuances that experienced drivers like your parents have kind of habituated. Like, for example, lane positioning, right? For beginner drivers, we're thinking if we're in the center of the lane, we're doing the right thing. Which is not the case in a lot of situations, as you guys are learning, right? So parents need to verbalize these nuances to their teens. Oh yeah, I'm moving over the lane because I can, I can foresee, I can predict that this potential hazard can have some consequences for me. So I'm going to develop more space for myself, more time and space to make it safer and reduce the risk. Okay. By the way, guys, if you notice your parent doing something that doesn't seem to jive with you or make sense, ask them politely. Ask them, hey, mom, dad, why did you do that just there? It's something I wouldn't have done. Okay. So our answer for that should be number 3. Let's pop on over to, I'm going to get rid of this one here. Okay. And we'll pop on over, and number 3 is our correct answer. Everyone got it correctly. Fantastic. Let's move on. Okay, we're moving on to that was number 2. Number 3, to place more distance means move from left to right in a lane. No need to apply brakes between your vehicle and a single hazard. You steer the car over to a different lane position. This is called minimize, right? This is basic minimize. Let's see how people did. And almost everyone got it correctly. We had one person say compromise. Nope. If compromise is when you are giving up that whole thing and using your brakes to prevent like a serious accident. Compromise, guys, means that if we don't do something like dramatic, like really, really dramatic, we're going to get in an accident. We're really giving up our whole right to the road. Okay. Moving to the right, in position C, when going uphill, this is another example of minimize. We're not using our brakes. We're not doing anything dramatic. We're just simply putting ourselves in a safer position. And we had most people get minimize, definitely not separate, and because no brakes are needed, no brakes are used in this situation, and not compromise, because that's that's a dramatic situation when we're like literally trying to save ourselves from some serious accident. So number 4 is minimize. Okay, here we go. Number 5, slowing down. Now we have braking, right? So now more dramatic, while going uphill, up a blind hill, because just seconds earlier you had seen a vehicle ahead of you with its flashers on. That means it's hazard lights, right? So we could expect it to be going very slow. It is on the other side of the crest of the hill now, so we can't see it, but we know it's there, and we know it's going to be going slow, and we want to really bring our speed down. This would be a situation of separate. We're definitely not going to go around him, okay, until we get over the hill. So let's see how we did on number 5. Okay, most people got separate. Very good, right? One of the key parts of separating is changing our speed, and it's almost always braking. Okay, minimize, definitely not. We are not going around him. Minimize means to go around, to create more distance between us while like overtaking something. Okay, number 6, an 18-wheeler, big truck, is approaching the opposite lane of a country road. So you move over to the C position of the lane. This is minimize. We're not changing our speed. We're just creating more space between us and the potential hazard. So number 6 should be minimize. Okay, most people got it. Very good. Okay, it's not compromise. Compromise, I do understand the idea of moving way out of the way, but if the 18-wheeler was in our lane and we had to go off the road, that would be compromise. Okay, but not in this case. This is just moving out of the way, just moving to a safer position in the road. Okay, and I guess that's what minimize means. It's just moving to a safer position in the road while still passing a potential hazard. Okay, without changing our speed, really. Okay, number 7, a pedestrian walking a dog is on the right around 2 seconds ahead, and there is no shoulder on the road. Okay, so pedestrian in the road. A vehicle is approaching the opposite lane. So we have 2 hazards. We have the pedestrian walking the road, and then we have the vehicle approaching in the opposite lane. So we have 2 situations. We need to separate them. The vehicle should clear in around 3 seconds. Otherwise, you can see there are no oncoming vehicles. What do we do in this situation? We need to bring our car way down to speed. Use your brakes, okay? Allow the vehicle approaching in the opposite lane to clear, and then we can go around the pedestrian. This is a clear example of separate. See how we did on this. Very good. Separate is the answer. 58% of us got it correctly. I'd like to see a little bit more of a percentage get that correctly. Okay. All right. Good information for me while I teach this course in the future to really drive home this point. Okay, number 8. A line of cars approaching on a 2-lane highway, and an oncoming vehicle pulls out from that line of cars only 6 seconds ahead of you. Okay, so now we have a vehicle in our lane coming on 6 miles or 6 seconds away from us in our lane. Okay, what do we do in this situation? This is dramatic. Okay, we have 6 seconds to do something. Otherwise, we may have a head-on collision. Okay, so the seriousness of this is extremely high, and this may happen to you. Okay, it's happened to me. You brake hard, but you don't need to stop. The car got back into the lane. I should have wrote that in there. The car did get back into its lane. This should be separate, guys. Let's make sure it is. If it's not, I'm going to do something about this question. Okay. And so most people did choose separate. Good, 83%. Excellent. Very good. Okay. Not compromise. If that car stayed in our lane and we had to go off the road, that would have been compromise. Okay. And I'm going to fix up that question for us so that it does say it gets back in the lane. Okay. Let me pause it real quick and I will. Okay. So I did put this part in there. No need to stop because the oncoming car eventually gets back into its lane. Okay, very good. So this is a question of separate here. I hope it should be separate. Okay, now it's clearly separate. Okay, let's continue. Number 9. I think I confused myself with that one. Okay, we have a bicyclist on the right-hand shoulder and he sees you. Okay, so he made eye contact. You notice that there is no oncoming traffic from the opposite direction. You can see down in the opposite direction. You decide to go around the cyclist. This is a case of minimize. Okay, so very good. We have 91% chose minimize. Very good. Okay, so number 10, a child comes out into the middle of your path of travel. This is very, very dangerous. Excuse the bell. There is oncoming traffic. You decide to stop your vehicle completely, okay, to avoid a major catastrophe. We've given up our space and time to save a life, okay? This is compromise. Number 10, compromise. Okay, why not separate? Separate means that we brake, but we do not come to a full stop and don't completely give up all time and space. We slow down until the potential hazard is no longer a risk. But in this case, that child stays in the road. We can't just slow down and time it so that the child, goes back into the lawn. Instead, the child stays in the road, and we need to come to a complete stop. By the way, when we're doing this, we need to monitor the traffic behind us. Okay, we want to make sure that car, you can flash your brakes, you can do whatever you need to do to indicate to the driver behind you that you are slowing your car down dramatically. Okay, in the end, it is better to take a fender bender, or maybe even a little worse, from a vehicle behind you than to hit that child. Hitting that child will almost certainly kill him. Okay, so we had a question about that, and the answer is compromise on that because we are coming to a complete stop. Okay, and we're avoiding catastrophic results. Okay, number 11, vehicles approaching on a 2-lane highway, and the vehicle behind you pulls out to pass you. Okay, with vehicles approaching you from the opposite side, you decide to brake hard, right, to allow the driver back in behind you. So we're not, if in this situation, we're not coming to a complete stop, right? We're just slowing way down so that car can zip right in front of you, right? Kind of cut you off. But this is a case of separate. We're not coming to a complete and utter stop or going off the road to avoid catastrophe here. We are avoiding catastrophe, but it's because we're bringing our car from, let's say, 55 miles per hour to like 40 miles per hour or 35, okay, in a couple seconds. Okay, this is a question of separate. Okay, we got 66% correct on that. All right. Slamming on your brakes for a bicyclist, coming to a complete stop. We are doing everything we can to avoid hitting him. This is compromise. Number 12, let's see how we did here. Very good. Okay, so we got 83% compromise. I'll take that. Speeding up to allow traffic entering from an on-ramp to merge behind you. We discussed this. I'm hoping we have 100% here with separate. 91%. Okay, not bad. Okay. Number 14, on a narrow country back road, one car approaching on the other side of a one-way underpass. Think of like a little. I had this in mind when I was writing this. It was a train trestle above with a little underpass, a little tunnel to go through on a really kind of small, narrow road. And there's only really enough room for one car to go through. And there's a stop sign there, I think. And I'm not even sure if there's a stop sign. It's kind of like you're expected to know that you need to allow the other driver to go in, right? So you're going to come to a complete stop and allow him to go. So it isn't very dramatic, but we are giving up that time and space. It can be either compromise or separate. I don't have a problem with either one of those, to be honest with you. Let's see how we did on that. Okay. I'm going to give those people who got separate credit, but the answer is to compromise. Okay. Okay, number 15, driving off the road to avoid a head-on collision. That is flat out compromise. Okay, and this should be an automatic. Okay, we had 91%. I think somebody just decided to pick compromise for every single question here. But they got the next one right, or minimize for every single question. They got the next one correct. Okay, so if we watch our video at 1:30, oh, okay. So at 1:30, what was an example of minimize? Lane position to C when encountering oncoming traffic, lane position D when there was an oncoming vehicle over the center line, or coming to a complete stop to deal with a gaggle of geese crossing the road. Okay, so the answer was number 1 there. Okay, so yep, I think everyone got that correct, which is good. Probably means you've been watching the video, and that's what we want you to do. Okay. One reason why I set these videos in here and I have questions about the videos is to make you aware that they're available to you. Okay. And then from the time 1:30 to 3 minutes, what can you say about an out? It was good. There was plenty of space on the shoulder of the road and it was clear of snow. There was no out to the right or left. The left lane had oncoming traffic and there was no shoulder on the side of the road. Or it was a 4-lane road, so there was an out in the left lane that was available. I believe the answer for this is letter B. Okay, so let's make sure. And correct. Yep. Okay. Please watch the videos. Please, if you find them helpful, please hit the like button on them. Please leave a comment too. All this helps. Or if you found that they weren't very helpful, feel free to critique them. Please do. Okay, don't hit the dislike button, please, but please critique them in the comments. I will not hold it against you whatsoever. I will really, really appreciate it. Number 18, from 3 minutes to 3:30. What is a good piece of advice about stopping at a red light? There's no need to take a look for vehicles entering the intersection from right to left. It's best to stop within inches of the solid white line. Stop early enough so that you don't have to bend forward to see when it changes. There you go. That's good advice right there. People often stop right underneath the lights and then they have to look the whole time to see if the lights changed. Number 19. Now let's just make sure everyone got that one. Okay, very good. So 91% got that. All right. Next one is the second one. Second choice, and everyone got that correct. From 4 to 4:30, what happens to my space cushion? The vehicle in the back passed me to the left, vacating my back space cushion, but occupying my left out. Okay. And almost, okay, let's take a look at this one. Yeah, and this one was hard because it really is minimize and at the same time compromise. This guy really went off the road. Okay. Minimize would have been if he had just gone around us because there was no oncoming traffic. There was oncoming traffic. He couldn't go around me the way you're supposed to go around a person. So it really is a case of compromise here and not minimize. Minimize would have been, the safe path to the left, but it was occupied by oncoming traffic. So that's why, okay, we're going to have to change that one because compromise is the correct answer here. Okay, so I apologize to those people who did not get that correct. I will make changes for you. You people who did get minimized, I'm not going to penalize you on this one, but the correct answer was compromise. Okay, and the last one, the bonus channel. If you hit yes, I subscribed. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I realize not everyone has their own channel, so they can't subscribe, and that's okay too. If you can't subscribe, hit the like button. If or if you didn't find the video that helpful, please critique it. I really appreciate that. Okay, for those people on here with the compromise, this whole section here for number 20, I'm just going to give everyone, you're lucky if you separate, you're going to get your points for this too. I'm going to give the points to everyone for number 20, and I'm going to fix it right after I get off. So thank you very much. This was our review of quiz number 6. Remember, if you see a veteran today, remember to thank them for their service, and as always, drive safely.